If a subject is singular, its verb must also be singular. If a subject is plural, its verb must also be plural. There are plenty more words which are carrying S at the end, but that doesn't make the word plural. Hello, hi, namaste, and welcome to Vidhyaashram, the Temple of Excellence. I am Nanda Kishore, Faculty of English in Vidhyaashram, Mysuru. In my previous session, I had discussed about verbs or so-called verbs. In today's session, I'm going to talk about subject-verb agreement. Now, you might be wondering, what is subject-verb agreement? Is this agreement something related to law and order or something related to property? No. Let us discuss what is subject, verb and how both subject and verb will agree. Let's start with today's session. Very first thing is, what is a subject? You might be wondering, what is a subject? Is it arts, commerce, mathematics, English or something else? What is a subject? The subject of a sentence or the subject in a sentence is the person or a thing doing the action or being described. What is a subject? Subject is nothing but a noun or a pronoun. In simple, subject is a person or it could be a thing. Let us simplify it. In simple, the simplest answer is subject is nothing but a person or a thing. For an example, Charvik won the race. Now, what is the subject here? Charvik is the subject. And what is won? As we know, won is verb or so-called verb. Charvik is a handsome boy. Subject, the sentence. Charvik is a handsome boy and Charvik is the subject. We have plenty of subjects in the sentences. You might see more than one subject in a sentence. There are possibilities. Remember this, subject need not be singular. Subject need not be plural. Subject may not be one. It could be compound, singular, noun, pronoun. You can see a lot of subjects in one sentence. Next, what is a verb? I am limiting myself to only subject and verb and how it agrees. So I am not going in detail explanation while I am talking about a lot of examples in this session. What is a verb? Verb is a word that shows an action, singing or sing or teach or any other action, occurrence, develop or something to happen, occurrence, or state of being, just to exist, state of being. Almost every sentence requires a verb. Remember this, in the previous session I have spoken about verbs and I have told you it requires a verb. All the sentence, almost every sentence, all the sentences will have verb in the sentence. Don't forget this. Now, what is this agreement? As I spoke about, we are talking about subject, verb and agreement. I am going very slow and I am going in detail about subject and verb, how they should agree. Subjects and verbs must agree, must, mandatory, must agree with one another in number. For example, singular or plural if. Thus, if a subject is singular, its verb must also be singular. If a subject is plural, its verb must also be plural. Now, you might be wondering, what does it mean? Let me just give you an example. He is a singular. If I frame a sentence, he is teaching, is a verb. It is an auxiliary verb. It is helping verb. So, we are talking about subject plus verb, how it agrees with the statement. Here, the statement is correct, grammatically correct. If I change the subject to they, we cannot use is because they is plural. According to this explanation, the subject is singular, its verb must also be singular. Subject is singular, so the verb is singular here. He is teaching. They are. According to this explanation, if the subject is plural, even the auxiliary verb or the main verb or the helping verb should be plural. They are teaching. So you should know that you are going to use singular subject and singular verb, plural subject and plural verb. So depending on the subject, you are going to make use of verbs. This is a mandatory rule. If you make a mistake while using verbs, then you are going to lose a mark or two. Don't forget this. Now, these are the examples or the exercises I have taken from the workbook. Remember, as I told you before, I have chosen most of the examples and the exercises from the workbook, and the rest few is for you to solve by your own. So let's start solving this. Fill in the blanks with the verbs given in the brackets. There will be answers given in the brackets, but you have to choose the most important one. Every seat in this bus, as the description says, you need to know the subject here. Every seat, each seat is a singular. So based on the subject, according to the rule, we are going to choose the singular verb. Every seat in this bus has or have. It is has because we are talking about singular subject and the verb should also be singular as a number. All seats, singular or plural. It is plural. We are talking about all the seats. Every boy, all boys. So here we are talking about all seats, which is the subject in this bus, have numbers. Third one of my friends. This is very tricky, and most importantly, most of the students, most of the people, including teachers, they make mistake while they are framing the sentence or while they are using these words. They make mistake, they go wrong. One of my friends, it is plural. Friends is plural, but out of all the friends you have, out of all the family members you know or you have, you are talking of one of them, not all of them. You're talking about one of them, which makes the subject singular. It is not plural. One of my friends is visiting me this evening. It is not are. You're talking about a single person out of all. Remember this. You're not going to make a mistake ever again. A number of questions, though the sentence begins with a. Usually we have an understanding, a general understanding that if a sentence begins with a, then it is singular. I met a man, a man. Here we are talking about questions. A number of questions dash asked in the interview. Were asked or was asked. It is were asked. The nearest subject, the number of questions or a number of questions were asked in the interview. You might be wondering, without teaching rules, are there any rules, particular rules that we can know and learn and practice how to use or how to select singular verb or plural verb. Yes, there are 10 or 12 odd rules to know and to use the answer for the subject-verb agreement. In my next session, I am going to discuss about all those 10 or 12 rules, and using those rules, we are going to answer these questions. Why I am concentrating only on these exercises and these examples? It's because it is limited in your syllabus. If you want to learn more apart from the syllabus which is prescribed for the first PUC, you're happy to welcome and watch the next video. In my next video, I'm going to discuss all the 10 rules about subject-verb agreement. Last one, the crowd dash dispersed by the police. Here we know the crowd is singular. The crowd was dispersed by the police. Next one, the Prime Minister with his cabinet colleagues. This is very important. The Prime Minister with his cabinet colleagues. Now, with his cabinet colleagues or colleagues and Prime Minister, we have two subjects. So which one are we going to use here? The Prime Minister with his. We are going to throw light for the first subject. The Prime Minister with his cabinet colleagues or colleagues has arrived. The Prime Minister has arrived along with his cabinet members. You might be wondering, why not colleagues or colleagues? And why not the answer have instead of has? Because we are going to club here. Remember this sentence or these words are not joined by and. If you join both of them, of course, it makes it plural. No singular, it makes it plural. Then we are going to use have. The captain of the Indian team, as well as there is a particular rule in subject-verb agreement. If you see with or as well as, then the subject is considered singular and we are going to use singular verb. So, of course, the captain of the Indian team as well as the players is here because we are throwing light on the captain. Either intelligence, this is also one of the trickiest statements. Either, neither, nor, or. Either intelligence or hard work. Is it is or are? It is. Why? Because we are talking about either one. Either the pen or the remote. We are talking about only one. Is required to get good marks. Neither. We are not talking about this nor this. Neither. Neither Gopal nor Suresh attends. Is it attend or attends our meetings? So which is the singular? Neither Gopal nor Suresh attends our meetings. 10th one, the last one, Krishnamurthy or Narayan will, the word will is future. So you need to be very careful. Though it is considered singular, though the subject is considered singular, we will use serve. Krishnamurthy or Narayan will serve, it is not will serves, food to the guests. Now correct the following sentences. There might be an error in the sentence and you need to know what is the error, identify it, correct it and rewrite the sentence. In your examination, you can expect such question. Identify an error and rewrite it. You are going to identify, rewrite the whole statement. Slow and steady win the race. Slow and steady. I told you in the previous slide, if two words are joined by and, it is considered plural. But here, slow and steady is not 2, it is considered 1. Just like the example, bread and butter is good for health, or bread and butter is the morning breakfast. It is, not are. Slow and steady wins, not win, wins. Wins the race. So the error is win here. A stitch in time saves 9. Save is the error. This is also the proverb. Remember this. Economics, S. We think the word which ends with S is plural. Now, economics, mathematics, these are the words which will, there are plenty of words. There are plenty more words which are carrying S at the end, but that doesn't make the word plural. It is singular. Economics, it is not. R, it is. Economics is an interesting subject. A bunch of keys, again, most of the people, they get confused. What is the error here? A bunch of keys have been found. This seems grammatically perfect, but it is not. Why? Because here the subject is a bunch, not the keys. Remember this, a bunch of keys has been missing, not have. It is has been found or has been missing. The missing keys has been found. Why? Because it is not the keys. For example, let us say you are carrying a box. A box is singular. You don't know what is there inside the box. You open the box and you see a lot of chocolates in it. So chocolates is plural, a box is singular. We are talking about the box. A box of chocolates is missing. Somebody has robbed your box of chocolate. It is not the chocolates we are talking about. It is the box we are concentrating. Likewise, a bunch is missing. If this is the bunch, I am holding a bunch of keys, and if the bunch goes missing, it is singular, though it has keys, n number of keys. Measles, this is a disease which can be spread by cough and sneeze. Measles are, it is not are, it is. Measles is a dangerous disease. Next, points to remember. There are few points you need to remember. If a plural number applies to distances, there are exceptions, as I told you. Applies to distances, heights, weights, or amount of money and represents a single figure or quantity, it is treated as singular. With what? Distances, heights, weights, or amount of money, then it is considered as singular. There are exceptions. Don't forget this. Example, 5 kilometers. We are talking about plural. 5 kilometers is not a great distance. We will not use R here. Using R is wrong. Don't use R. 5 kilometers is not a great distance. Each, one, either or either, neither or neither, many, a, one of, etc. take a singular verb. As we solved the questions in the previous slides, all of these, they take singular verb. Keep this in your mind. I'm just going to give you one more example for this explanation. $10. We say $10 or 1,000 rupees. 10,000 rupees. We are talking about rupees, not rupee, though it seems plural, but the explanation says the verb should always be in singular. We take, or the sentence takes singular verb. 10,000 rupees is a great amount. It may not be, but for the poor, it is a great amount. 10,000 rupees is a great amount for the people or for the needy or for the poor. So these are the statements you need to keep in your mind while answering the questions. So that's it for today's session. I'm going to meet you in my next session. In my next session, I'm going to discuss about 10 different rules on subject-verb agreement. Until then, keep practicing subject-verb agreement. Let's meet in the next session. Have a good day.